What makes the distillery a really special, incredible place is that there is nowhere else like the distillery in the entire world. The distillery has no franchises, no national brands down here. So when you come down the distillery, you get really, really unique experiences. When you come to our sake brewery and taste our sake, there's nowhere else like it in the world. If you come to our microbrewery and taste our fresh beer, there's nothing else like that in the city. If you come to the chocolate micro factory, again, a really, really unique experience, and the product that they create is the best. You'll see things like cafes that you would see in small towns with the proprietors serving you coffee. On the other end of the spectrum, we'll have the best theatre company and the best theatre on site in Canada. If you want to consume Toronto culture, this is an amazing place to do it. And if you want to participate in Toronto's culture from a resident's point of view, what better place to do it than the distillery? There's always things going on. Art shows in the galleries, special exhibits in the retailers. They're happening all throughout the year. But the really big blockbuster events happen on the weekends. Very often you'll see big festivals, things like the Toronto Jazz Festival, Contact Photography Festival, artisan festivals where we have hundreds of artisans lining the streets of the distillery showcasing their art. We have wine festivals down here. We have an incredible Christmas market that simulates the Christmas markets of Europe that have been going on for 800 years. That festival alone gets 100,000 people coming down to the distillery. What's a secret is that we actually have people living down here, and a lot of people liken the distillery and living at the distillery to living in old Europe. When people come down out of their condominiums, leave their lobbies, they enter into almost a wonderland or fantasy land. That's how they describe it, not me. So the distillery itself is actually the largest collection of Victorian industrial architecture remaining in North America. The site was founded in 1832, over 170 years ago. A gentleman by the name of James Worts came over here and he founded a windmill on what at that time was Lake Ontario. Unfortunately, very quickly he found out that there wasn't a lot of wind coming off the lake, but at the same time he did find out, because of all the grain he had, that the distilling business was quite successful. Over the first approximately 50 years, this windmill site became the largest distillery in the entire world and operated as a distillery until 1990, after which point the distillery became one of the largest film sets outside of Hollywood. If you looked at our front gates, that was the dock scene from Cinderella Man. If you look at the doors on the Mill Street Brewery, those were from Chicago. The kiln building was in Al Pacino's The Recruit with Colin Farrell. So when we first bought the distillery, people thought that we were out of our minds. When they came down to the distillery, if they would come down to the distillery, we would tell them our vision, and you'd see them slowly backing up because they thought we must be out of our minds. But for every 10 people that thought we were crazy, there was one person always that believed in what we were doing and that wanted to share in that vision and participate in that vision. And together, we all created this really, really wonderful small village in the middle of a big city. You can spend days here learning things that you just never imagined existed, experiencing new things, and it's just a really, really wonderful environment to learn, to be creative, to be inspired, and there's nowhere else like it.